Hi everyone, it's Amisha and Maurice here from Team Hydra Squad. We're here to do a live Q&A session for all of our existing Hydra-Lister and Sku-Grid members. So if you can hear me well, can you type in the chat box that you're here so that I know that you're in the house today? Teresa, I know we have our cameras shut off because both Maurice and I really don't feel well. So, you know, we're here though. You don't have to see us, but we're here.
Yes, it's just a Q&A. So as you all ask questions in the chat box, we're going to try to answer those questions, on air.
Okay, so well they can hear. Welcome, Teresa. Give a bit. I'll start soon. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start off with two questions that were asked to me today. One was, what is your eBay item ID? Anybody that's has done a listing before knows that whenever you submit the listing, eBay shows you that your listing has been submitted, and on that confirmation, they show you your eBay item ID. It's like an item number. And if you're in eBay, let me get my screen set up, and then I'll share my screen in a minute. So don't be alarmed that you don't see anything yet. But I just want to show how to find your eBay item ID. Oh man, my computer is so slow. Okay. Let me share my screen really quick. Can you guys see my screen? Yes.
Yes, I can see it, Amisha.
Okay. All right, so if you have a listing up and you don't know what your eBay item ID is, it's usually up here in your URL. So, you know, if you pull up one of your listings, it'll be right here. It's right after your title. There is a number, that's your eBay item number, eBay item ID. Same as right above your description, there's an eBay item number right here. So it's right there. So that was one question. Another question someone had was, what is the buy box on Amazon? So I'm just going to go to Amazon really quick. I'll just pull up any random item. Okay, the buy box on Amazon is this big old box right here. With Amazon, you have the potential for Amazon to be selling the item themselves. If they do, it will say ships and sold from Amazon.com. But you also have additional sellers. This item doesn't have one, so it's not a good example. Okay, so this is better if I clicked on new. So you can have shipped and sold by Amazon.com. You can have sold by a company and fulfilled by Amazon. So this company has sent products into Amazon and Amazon ships them out for them. And then you have other like third-party sellers and whatnot. So if, for example, you had your Sku-Grid settings to buy box, okay, all of these third-party sellers, they're fighting to get into this buy box, and so are the Fulfilled by Amazon sellers. Amazon.com, if they're on a listing, will typically be in the buy box, but sometimes other sellers rotate into this buy box. Okay, so they usually they'll lower their prices, and you know it's based on an algorithm, but they lower their prices to try to gain control of the buy box. Whoever's in the buy box naturally gets more traffic because as soon as you come to Amazon and you pull up a product, 9 times out of 10 you're going to purchase it right from here. Now, where this affects you with your listings is you have the potential, if you have your Sku-Grid settings set to buy box for Amazon items, then you have the potential to be selling from third-party sellers. It'd be whoever is in the buy box at the time that Sku-Grid reprices your item. So, you know, that might not be the best option for you if you do not want to be sourcing from third-party sellers. If you want only Amazon fulfilled items, meaning shipped and sold by Amazon.com or fulfilled by Amazon, then you would want to have the lowest fulfilled setting in your Sku-Grid. Lowest new would also allow third-party sellers, but it's not going to be based on the buy box. It's going to be based on whoever has the lowest price on a new item. So if I click on this 50 new here to see all available sellers, it's already sorted by price. So the lowest new seller, if I had lowest new as my settings, my pricing would be based off of this person who is $103.99 and $10.49 for shipping. And you can see the rather late delivery of this item. You know, third-party sellers, the shipping can be slower. They might be drop shippers themselves. So lowest new and buy box open you up to third-party sellers, whereas Fulfilled by Amazon does not. So that was the answer to that question. Let's see. Marty wants to know how to set my settings for Walmart and any other store for that matter. That question is kind of relative to what you want to do.
Yeah, I was gonna try to answer that, but I really don't know what she's referring to. I mean, because they are not special, rather for Sku-Grid or Hydra-Lister. There's not any special settings for Walmart or any other store. So maybe you could put some more detail in the chat box, Marty, so we can try to help you out with that.
Yeah, because in general, if you have your settings set up, you know, in general, you don't necessarily have to have additional formulas for a particular store. But it can come in handy if certain stores have certain things that you want to account for. But, you know, like I said, you kind of have to have an idea of what you're trying to do in order for us to give you more advice on that. Because really, you can make Sku-Grid do a lot of different things. So it's kind of hard to just say that it should be, what? Who's it? Bob, refresh your screen. It's kind of hard to say, Marty, what we should tell you to do with Walmart, unless you knew exactly what you wanted to do with it. If our seller is Walmart, how do we account for taxes and shipping? Okay, well, the first thing is in your settings in Sku-Grid, and I'll go over here to Sku-Grid. In your settings, if you have under, I assume you're selling on US, but either one, eBay US or eBay UK tab, and you go down to your calculate eBay selling price wizard. If you switch to wizard view and you have this option set to yes, include supplier shipping and calculations, Walmart shipping for any item under $50 is always $4.97. And Sku-Grid can see that. It knows that. So if you're listing an item that's under $50 from Walmart, it's going to include the $4.97 in your calculations. Hydra doesn't do it, but what's going to happen is once it kicks over to Sku-Grid and Sku-Grid reprices that item, it will go ahead and factor that shipping into your calculations. So there is nothing to do with that if you have this option set to yes. As far as accounting for tax, are you doing it as a whole? Like, you know, I mean, are you saying like you normally source from other suppliers that don't charge tax, so as a whole you don't want tax in your overall settings right here? Because this is where you would do that, and you only want to add tax for Walmart specifically. Like, you know, so you kind of need to know what you want to do with that. Screen is blurry. It's probably because I didn't click on myself. Is this better, Teresa? I always do that. I have not gotten that right yet. Yes, Walmart always charges tax. Amazon 99% of the time will charge you tax. So, you know, so like I said, it really depends. If you, okay, let me ask you this, Marty. Are you putting a tax amount in here anyway? Like, do you have a number in this box on the eBay US tab under the wizard button? Do you have a number in vendor tax at all? No. Okay, so are you saying that you're sourcing from other suppliers more often than Walmart, and you only do Walmart a little bit, therefore you don't want it in your overall settings but only apply to Walmart? I guess what I'm trying to get at is if you put the number in here for tax, then you're not going to have to set up an additional formula for Walmart. It's automatically going to be configured. I don't really see the need to do a separate thing for Walmart just for tax. But I mean, I can show you that if you're interested in it. Basically, you could come down, you scroll down, and where it says additional formulas for store, you would select Walmart from the list. And you could do something like this. It's a mathematical equation, or mathematical function, I should say. So you have to write it out as an expression here. So it would be a parentheses, vendor underscore price plus vendor underscore shipping. The asterisk symbol is for multiplication, so times, and then whatever you want the tax to be. You know, you can be charged anywhere from 5 to 9% tax depending on where the item is being sent to. So you can either enter a number in between those. Some people do 10 for 10%. So it'd be 0.10, or it would be 0.08, you know, whatever you want that number to be. But this right here, what this is going to do is, if you source an item from Walmart, it's going to do your main formula, whatever is in here, and then it's going to tack this on to the end. Okay. So this is an option for you if that's what you want to do. Other than that, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I would just go ahead and put it right here. You know, like,
Yeah, that would
if you
be.
put it here, it's like it's already factored in and it's set to include the shipping. So therefore, you would not have to do anything special for Walmart. But you know, that's totally up to you. But if you're putting it here, then you'd have to make sure that you don't have it here. Otherwise, you're doing it double. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's kind of how that works. And yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Okay, did that help, Marty? Okay. Yeah, I mean, if the only supplier you're using is Walmart, I mean, there is no need to do a special formula for it. Just add the 8 in there in the vendor tax spot in your settings. Both in your settings in general, for Hydra and Sku-Grid should be equivalent. They should match. Otherwise, every item you list from Hydra will come over with an override formula. I don't think you're using Hydra yet, Marty. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope that helped. Did that help? Okay, sounds good.
Amisha, you might want to scroll down some because we have more people coming in asking questions, and it's like 2 below Marty that was kind of waiting. So I want to try to get those out of the way.
What's that?
I think Denny Host. I think that's what it is, and someone, and it's actually someone under there. Let's see if I can find it.
All right, so Denny Host, it says, I just had a phone conversation with eBay staff about Vero items. He said all brands listed on Vero are not banned to list. It is okay to list those items. We will take down listings only if an employee. So how does Hydra not allow to list Vero items? Okay, so it's not that they're banned for you to list. They just don't like you listing their items and using their images. So you can get slammed for that if they find you, and all it takes is for an employee to find you and hunt you down, and then they'll start flagging all your listings and you get all these violations. So what Hydra does is every time you list an item, they go into your item list. Okay, so you see these are supplier URLs. Okay, so it goes into your item list, and if that company is on eBay's Vero list, or it has been reported by a Hydra user that they have received a Vero violation, because as we mentioned before, I don't know if you've seen previous Hangouts, but the Vero list is not complete. It's not a comprehensive list. They don't update it regularly, and not every person who is registered with Vero gets onto that list. So Hydra can only protect you from what's on the list, right? So in order to help, so then people are like, well, I'm getting violations. Why is that? Well, it's because that company was not on eBay's Vero list. So what Hydra put into place was, if a member reports that they received a violation, we have a form to report that on, and I'll show that to you. Let's see. Here it is. We have a form to report that on, and it's also in the pinned post in the Facebook group. It's at the bottom of the little instructions there. It's a link to this report. It's also in the file section of the Facebook group. But basically, you would just put in the supplier URL, okay, the Amazon link, Walmart link, whoever, your email address, the name of the brand, select your country, the country that you were selling on, so the platform, eBay US or UK, and attach a screenshot of the email that eBay sends to you. Okay, and then you'll have to fill out this little CAPTCHA thing to prove you're not a robot, and you hit send. And when that information is sent to Hydra, the developers go and manually add that company into a database behind the scenes to prevent you and other users in the future from listing from that company again, because obviously this company has employees that go looking for their brand being listed on eBay, and they flag accounts. So that's how Hydra protects you. Did that help answer your question?
Amisha.
Huh?
Let me add to that. And I think the question, the way I'm understanding the question is that from the conversation that that he had with an eBay rep, it makes it appear that Hydra is blocking items that actually could be sold on eBay, if I understood that right.
They can, but it's like you're opening yourself up to potentially get violations. So why do that?
Exactly, because like I said, the rep, like you said, the rep said that pretty much they let you play at your own risk until an employee reports it. So then once the
Mm-hmm.
employee reports it, then, you know what I'm saying, you get hit with a violation. So Hydra is set up in a way like, you know, like Amisha say, why, you know, why take that chance? Because it happens a lot, you know, and a lot of people don't understand that it does happen, because they would be listing something for a while and had
Mm-hmm.
problems with it, and then all of a sudden 2 3 months later, this item that they done sold several times, they end up getting a violation for it, you know. So again, it's just to try to safeguard us from any hiccups that might occur from these particular items, because you can easily change, like take the brand name out of the listing and stuff like that and list it on eBay. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
can easily get around that, because Hydra is looking for certain things, just as the employees are looking for certain things. But again, you know, the tool is just trying its best to help us avoid all of that unnecessary, you know, all of those unnecessary problems. So that's
Yeah.
why it's set up that way. Anything that's on that list, Hydra is going to block it. And when we get violations, we add it to our personal Hydra list, and it's going to block it, just for the safety of the user of Hydra.
Yeah, I mean, because and not only do they flag you once, let's just say, because heck, I've had it happen to me. I have been listing furniture from a particular brand for a long time, like over a year, and I have been selling well. Their furniture is beautiful, good quality, and good prices. So I always sold this furniture. Finally, one day, after over a year, they caught me, and then I guess an employee just says, "Hey, we're on this Vero list. We don't want you listing this item. We're getting you for copyright infringement, yada, yada." And not
And
only did they flag me for one of my listings, so I
yes,
got the violation for one. And as I was doing the report for one, they started picking through all of my listings and flagging them one by one by one. So I kept getting a bunch of violations. Now, if you accumulate a whole bunch of violations, guess what happens to your eBay account? you know you can get shut down. Nobody knows the magic number for violations within a certain time frame, but the overall goal of Hydra, in that aspect, is to protect you. So just take it for what it's worth. Don't fixate on an item. I mean, if you're insistent on listing something that is on the Vero list, go ahead and list it manually and then add it to Sku-Grid for your tracking. I mean, it's not that it's not possible. you know Hope that helps. What other questions we got here?
right, Amisha, right under that, Teresa question was next.
Teresa.
And then I think you can go back up to the top.
I don't see her question.
Yeah, because it get lost in the chat. Okay, she says, this like 18 minutes ago, when I hit the bottom, when I hit the bottom to list an item on Hydra-Lister, and if it finds errors, it shows me a page of the errors, but then I can't find out how to return back to my listing without losing all the work I did in my listing. Am I doing something wrong?
No, I just think you can't go backwards. No, you can't go backwards. Hydra does have a save like draft form. I mean, if you want to save a draft of a listing, you do have ability to do that. But if you go ahead and submit it and then there was an error for whatever reason, I do not believe that there's a way to just go back to that last one that you were working on and fix it. You would have to start over or move on to another item. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I don't really fixate. It's so much stuff to list. Let's see. Constance, I don't know why I just called you Connie. I'm sorry, Constance. She says, I just joined and I'm having difficulty with the new template. I uncheck the photos that I don't want in the template, but it puts them in anyway. Okay. Also, I will set my main picture and it will put the main picture on eBay. But okay, yeah, they're two different things. In order to modify the pictures that are within the body of your template, you would actually be looking at modifying HTML code. You unchecking pictures that you don't want on a listing, that just affects what gets uploaded to eBay for the eBay image gallery on the listing, but it does not change anything that's within the body of the listing. In order to change images that are in the body of the listing, oh boy, it would involve, let me see here if I can. I'm gonna just go to the settings and switch to editor on that. Okay, actually, I'm gonna go full width view. I'm gonna try to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, how's that? All right, so what you would be looking at is your HTML code. In order to change pictures that are within the body of the listing, you would have to scroll down and figure out within this code where that is. On this one, it's right here. You know, in my settings, it says main image, but in an actual listing, it will have a link to the actual image. So, you know, if it was this item per se, and I wanted a different picture to go there, I would, number one, have to grab this picture so I could, you know, open the image in another tab, right click, open it in another tab. So there's the image. It's pretty small. So I would have to take a screenshot of it, make it at least 500 on one side. I would have to save it. And then you'd have to go to somewhere to host the photos. So you would either have to use like Photo Bucket. A lot of people use TinyPic, tinypic.com or Photo Bucket. Anywhere where you can upload a photo and get a URL for that photo, that's what you would need to do. So because the image, in order to put it into HTML code, the image has to be hosted on the internet. So then you would have to upload the photo. Okay, computer's freaking out here. Okay, and you would hit upload now. Oh boy, I have to answer these questions. See, so I mean, it's a process when you want to switch out images. Now, if you're doing the template that has the multiple images, at the end of the image URLs, they have a number like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Typically, you can change that number and it will swap the pictures, but you know, still, you're looking at modifying the HTML code. It's nothing that's going to be quick to do, but definitely you're not doing anything wrong. But unchecking those images or switching the main image does not change the image within the body of your, I can't even tell what that is, within the body of your listing. Gee whiz. This thing is super slow when you're on a screen share. Great. Sorry this is taking so long, but you know, TinyPic is a little bit slow, and it's even slower when you're on a screen share. Buckle your shoes, please. You'd have to fill in this little captcha correctly. I obviously didn't do it right the first time. And then you click here to get your image. It's going to give you different URLs, and I'll show you which one it would be. It would be the URL that says direct link for layouts. It will end in .png or .jpg, indicating that it's an image file, but this is what you would grab. Okay, so you copy that, and then you go back to Hydra, and where that image is supposed to go within your template, that's where you would paste that URL. So if I switch back to the editor now, my screen is like way too big. Okay, so now you see how this picture is over here. But that's, that's what you would have to do. It would involve, like I said, grabbing the image that you want to be in there as the main image and switching it out in your HTML code after you hosted it on the internet somewhere and got a URL for it.
Next question is Bob, Amisha.
Okay.
Concerning out of stock, it said I have the out of stock option set in eBay for my store, but Sku-Grid still sets the price high when it sees what it thinks is an out of stock situation. Much preferred to set to zero stock. I believe that anyone who views the listing at a very high price won't bother to view or watch it, just laugh at it and move on. Something I'm missing?
Yeah, it sounds like in your settings here.
You might have a number or something there.
Yeah, there's a setting here that says do not end out of stock lots, but set price to. I don't know, but it sounds like you might have a number in here. If you do, change it to 0. Because 0, it says, means do not use this function. This function is for people who do not want their listings ended or put out of stock, but they want their prices like increased drastically to discourage buying. So if you have a number in there, it's adding that to your out of stock items, and instead of knocking them out of stock. So change that 1 to 0.
Excuse me. I think Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. I want to track my inventory from Amazon to overstock. How would I track just the inventory and not have any repricing occur?
Okay. Again, in your settings, so we're in eBay US tab. You would come down where it says auto update eBay price. Change that to no. That way, Sku-Grid will not be changing your prices, but it will be controlling your inventory, whether or not the item is in stock or out of stock. But you said on Amazon, right? So I'm sorry, that would be on your Amazon US tab, but it's the same setting. So, I mean, I can show you that. Amazon US tab, you come down, it will say auto update Amazon stock. You would want that to yes, and auto update Amazon price, you would change that to no. Update items to default quantity, you leave that at yes if you wanted it to do that after every sale. Anything else? See how slow my screen is loading?
Are you trying to go back to the questions?
Yeah, it's like it's taking forever.
Okay, I got you. Marty. This is Marty. She said, Sku-Grid question. She said, I keep getting an item that says it is out of stock. The item requires a color, and I put it in. It also requires packaging, frustration, free packaging, or standard packaging. I thought I had the variations correct, but apparently not. Can you show me how to fill it out?
Yeah. Okay. I'll go over here to my items, and I'm gonna try to find one that's a little similar with the options, because I know I've got something in here. I'm gonna just filter these by Amazon. Amazon. Man, look, I'm like so frozen right now. Try to close some tabs or something. Great. I'm gonna shut this Facebook off because I think Facebook. Oh boy. Okay. I'm coming back to share my screen. I just had to stop it for a minute and give my computer a chance to attempt to catch up. Okay. I'm moving faster now. Trying to find something. Okay, so I've got something that has packaging on it. Okay, so let's take a look at this item. This particular item, the only variation is the packaging. So I guess that's not really helpful. But it's like, it says product packaging, standard packaging, so it will be standard packaging or frustration free. When editing this item, have to edit. Man, I don't know why this is moving so slow today. And why do I have pop-ups on my screen? All right. So your variation goes in the box right under the supplier URL. So in this particular one, there was only one type of variation. It was just standard packaging. There wasn't a color or size or anything like that. But if there were more than one option that needed to be chosen for this item, you would separate them with a vertical line, which is your shift button and the backslash. And then you would type in, the color, whatever the name of the color was. But it has to be exactly as the supplier has it. And not only that, it has to be in the correct order. The capitalization has to be right. The spelling has to be right. So, I mean, it could be a lot of things. With Amazon, though, you're in a good place with Amazon orders because Amazon assigns a unique ASIN number for each variation. You can quickly see those by, if you hit the, where it says 36 new under the short description, if you hit where it says new, okay, you can see how you can toggle back and forth between frustration-free packaging and standard packaging. Right now I'm on standard. Notice the ASIN number. It should theoretically change, yep, and it did, if I select frustration-free. So you see how frustration-free is selected, the ASIN number has changed. I'm gonna do it again. If I select standard packaging, the ASIN number has changed. And because Sku-Grid has formed or has integrated with Amazon's API, if you select the appropriate ASIN for that variation combination, you don't actually have to do, you don't have to put anything in there for variation anymore. And I'll just demonstrate that. So I'm gonna wipe out all this stuff. And I'm just gonna make sure that I have the correct ASIN in here. Which is this one for standard packaging. And I'm gonna actually take out the variation. I mean, that's just to show you that it's not really needed if you select the correct one. Yeah, so I mean, that's how it is with Amazon. I mean, so with Amazon, all you need is a supplier URL, but make sure that the ASIN portion of the URL is pointing to the right variation. And you can get to that by clicking on underneath the product description. It will have a link. How do I get back here? Okay. Underneath the short description up here, the feature bullets, it will have a link that says new. It'll have the number of new sellers and it will say new. If you click that and then switch over, toggle to or click the buttons for the variation that you're trying to list. So for Amazon, I'm gonna choose the standard packaging on this one, and then grab the ASIN for that one. Okay, that's gonna be the ASIN that you want in your link. Then you won't have to enter a variation. For other suppliers, that's not possible. You do have to specify. It's just Amazon, and this was a recent change within the last, I want to say, month and a half, that Sku-Grid had gotten integrated with Amazon's API. So now we're tapped into the different ASIN numbers for each variation combination. So you don't have to specify as long as you choose the right one. So I'm gonna go back to this item. Maybe that wasn't the right one. Hot Wheels, something. I don't know where it went. I just proved myself wrong. And unfortunately, I don't know my item number because I wasn't concentrated on that. It's in here somewhere. I don't know. I probably have to find it later. Oh, sorry, guys. But did that help answer your question for Amazon items? Or did I confuse it more? Okay, you got it. All right. Next question.
Let me see. I think it was I lost my Bruce. What's the SKU bar for when making an Amazon listing inside of Amazon? I don't know what that is.
Hmm?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Where's this at?
Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah, it said, what's the SKU bar? What's the SKU bar for when making an Amazon listing inside of Amazon? I don't know nothing about that.
SKU bar. I don't know what you mean by that, Bruce. I mean, when you list on Amazon, you're just hopping on a listing, and I don't know. You're drop shipping on Amazon? So I mean, basically, you can the SKU bar. I mean, there's a place for a SKU, but I mean, I don't know. I don't usually do that. Like, all I do is punch in the item and search up the item. I find the existing listing and hop on that listing. I don't really enter anything else with it. I enter my price, but I don't really do too much selling on Amazon. Not drop shipping anyway.
Okay. Next question is, I think, Teresa. She says, I have an emergency. I can't get some of my items prices in Sku-Grid to go to a positive price. I have 4 listings that are messed up. Please help. I sent her a message. I don't know whether she responded back.
Teresa, well, it would be impossible that your price is not negative on eBay, correct? It would be impossible to have an eBay listing with a negative price. I don't even think eBay would let you do it. So I think what you're looking at is the information on the grid.
She said it in Sku-Grid.
Yeah, so it's Sku-Grid. So it's like, it's not that the listing itself is messed up. It's something in the grid, and it could be because you don't have the compare item URL filled in. If this is blank right here where it says compare item, this is not showing your eBay link in this column, and you don't see your current eBay price here, your number here in estimated profit is always going to be negative. It's perfectly okay because your repricing is still being done. It's just that this estimated profit, what this is your price on eBay minus supplier price minus about 15% for fees. Okay, it's just like an estimate of what you should get for profit. It's just an estimate, but it doesn't control any repricing. So if you don't have this URL filled in, then this will naturally be a negative number because you're now subtracting your supplier price from absolutely nothing, and you're also subtracting fees from nothing. So this will always be a negative number. So check to see if your compare item URL is filled in. If it's not, then just, if you want it in there, edit the item and paste in your eBay item link right here where it says compare to item link. That would be your eBay link if you want to use that option. Some people don't, so it's optional.
Brandon. Yes. Yeah. Brandon question is, so if the item goes out of stock and it comes back in stock a week later, would the software update the listing and put stock as available, or will I have to do that manually?
It will, as long as in your settings you have auto update eBay stock right here on your eBay US or eBay UK tab. If you have it set to auto update eBay stock, yes, then yeah, it will do that. If you're doing 30-day listings, then you would want auto relist on. If you're talking about a good to cancel listing, you don't necessarily need that. But yeah, if you have auto update eBay stock on and your item is not paused in Sku-Grid, then yes, it will go ahead and bring your item back up to stock when it becomes available.
Okay. You good, Amisha?
Yeah.
Bruce. I guess he was replying. He said yes. Yeah, there is a place for a SKU. I was wondering what that is.
It's a stock keeping unit. Like that's what SKU is, and I mean it's just like a unique identifier for you and your store. So I mean you can make your own SKU. It's not anything that would come on the package or you would know by looking it up. It would be something that identifies the item for you, kind of like how in eBay they have a custom label box that people use to identify an item. You know, that's what a SKU is. It's unique to a store. So, you know, some larger people or larger organizations or companies that are selling on Amazon actually have stock keeping units for their items. So they use unique identifiers in that box.
Okay. Constance says, when I click the preview button after making my listing to preview my template, it says undefined. Is
Yeah.
there a reason? Is there a reason? Huh?
Oh, nothing. I'm just listening.
Oh, is there a reason I can't preview it? Thanks so much.
Yeah, because the button doesn't work. The preview, I've never used the preview button. All I do is just switch to editor. Just switch to editor, and now that they have that full width option, there's a full width button. So I would click the full width button and then click switch to editor, or vice versa, switch to editor, full width button. You can see how your listing would appear.
Okay, I'm about to say Marty. Teresa, um, did you check what Amisha said? Because you just put the same question back in the box. I have an emergency. I can't get some of my items prices in Sku-Grid to go to a positive price. I have 4 listings that are messed up. Please help. That was the same exact. So did you hear the solution or the recommendation that Amisha gave? So I guess you can message us back after you do that. It's possible that you have your compare item, you don't have the URL in there, and it's going to automatically show a negative number on the grid. Another thing, if you look to the far right of the grid where it has your eBay listing at and the price, If you compare that price to the actual supplier price, you can see that there's a great difference there, and it's pretty much no way that you could be in the negative, versus looking at the negative number, which is basically taken away from the supplier's price, if that makes sense. But you can compare the number, the price of the supplier item to the eBay listing price to the far right of the item. Can you go there right quick, Amisha?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have stopped sharing. I didn't know if you wanted to share your screen or
No,
not.
you're good because you already got it up.
I need to buy some more credits, man.
So you see, like for example, Amisha, the first item that she has up there, overstock is the price is $149.99, and then it has a negative 142. This is because she do not have her compare price URL over here. But if you look to the far right where it says eBay US, and you look down, you see the price as it is on eBay. It's actually $195.99.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that there's a difference, a big difference from the 149 versus the 195. So this could be the reason. Who is that, Teresa? This could be the reason why yours are showing up negative.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. She just must not have compare item filled in. But like Maurice said, some people don't even use this option. Like I don't use this option at all, so I don't have compare item URLs filled in. But my price, I can still see my current price on eBay here, and I can still see my current stock level as 1, which would be in stock, and 0 would be my item is ended or out of stock on eBay. So I can still see all the information even though my compare item URL is not filled in. And I'm perfectly fine with my estimated profit being negative numbers because I kind of understand that it's just because compare to item isn't filled in. So if you subtract anything from 0, it's going to be a negative number.
Constance says, is it possible to get the new template fixed so that the pictures will go in the proper order that we set them to, or do we don't have to go to school to learn HTML? I
Hold
guess
on,
she
hold on,
wants to
hold
say
on.
so
Constance,
we
I'm
don't
gonna show
have
you another way. One second. Let me find something. You're funny. She's got me laughing. Okay. I'm gonna find something that has like multiple pictures or something. Gosh, I'm gonna have to. Like, you guys are gonna make me work today. Actually, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go to my settings. Oh, Constance. All right, so y'all just ignore what I'm doing right now. It has no bearing. I'm just saving my little template code here. That way I don't have to go fish for it. All right, so I'm going to use one of these templates like Kali Basic, which is one that a lot of people are using. Switch to editor. I'm going to go full width mode so I can see. With this template, you know, I've got store name right here, title, thumbnail images for the pictures, and the main big picture right here. Feature bullets will be right here, product description. You can type in, like if you had special terms and conditions, you know, you could put store policies or whatever you want to call it, terms and conditions, and you could type that information below. As far as switching this stuff out, I'm going to go ahead and fix this template, and I'm just going to take that out right now and save. So I'm going to say my template is done. I had to change it just so that I could have a good example to work with because my template was different. So I couldn't really show you all the way with the previous example. But so now I'm going to grab an item. Let's see. Home decor. Okay, so I've got an item that has multiple pictures, and that's what I was looking for. And I've got some variation options here too, size options. So I'm going to do a single item listing really quick. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and select my variation. I'm just going to say this is for a king. Notice my price changed already. So I'm going to switch to editor really quick. All right, and I'm going to go full width mode so that you can see the thumbnail images. Okay, so what Constance was saying was that if you scroll down, here are the images, and let's just say she did not want to include this image or this image. And let's just say you want to make this one your main image. Okay, so unchecking these items, when it's posted to eBay, these two will not be included in the photo gallery, but they still will be included up here. Okay, changing your pictures down here has no effect on what's going on inside of your listing. So what you can do is you can switch to editor, and it's actually easier on this template than the one that I showed you before. So if you scroll down, and I'm going to make my screen a little bigger so you guys can see the words. If I scroll down, there will be an area in here that says pick area. Right here. Begin pick area. Begin is spelled wrong. It says begin, but right here where it says pick area. If you can't find it, you can do a Control F on your computer, which will pull up a search box, and you can type in pick and then like underscore area, and it's gonna like highlight it within this code, so you don't have to go hunting and pecking for it. I just kind of know where it is because I've played with it so much. But where it says begin pick area, this is like the picture area within your listing. Okay, the first image URL that you have, this is the main image in the listing. Okay, so notice that you have an image URL here that's hosted on Hydra's website. It has the name from the supplier on here, but notice at the end of the image, it has a number. Okay, it has a number. There's a 5. So let's say I wanted to change it to number 4. So when I go back and switch to my editor, I'm sorry, the visual composer, the main image has switched. Okay, so that's how you can do it. So, you know, just basically you would change that number. You would change that number and it would switch the image for you. But the other thing that you would have to do, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're right here. So here is the picture area. Again, I don't know why it went back to 0, but the first 2 links, the number needs to match. So like if I want this to be 4, then this one should be 4. And the reason why I say that is this is the main big image. So it's set as a default to show this one as the big image. But then right here, this is the thumbnail. So whenever your buyer puts their mouse on that first thumbnail, it's still supposed to be this main image. If the two are different, then that's kind of weird because it will never pull up this image here. So these two should match. And then if there was a picture that you didn't want to be in the listing, for example, let's say I want to take out this one, number 2. I can highlight from this last little bracket and I can delete that out. Okay. You can delete the pieces of the code. Let's just say I want to get rid of number 5 as well. I can delete it. All right, and when I hit switch to or show WYSIWYG, I come back, you'll notice that I have less pictures over here, and my main image is switched. It's now actually the same as this one because I switched it to number 4, and this one was number 4. So that's how you can switch your images easily without having to go through all that tiny pick stuff. Just change the number and delete whatever code you don't want in there. Just delete it out. Is that helpful?
Okay, Teresa, asking a similar question about the positive pricing. She says, how do I get my items in Sku-Grid to show as a positive? I have 2 items showing a selling price as a negative price, which is not the price I listed them. What are the steps to get these prices to a positive price, not a negative price? Please help.
It's impossible to have a negative priced eBay item. Like eBay won't let you do that. So it's not, your item is not a negative price. Like if you click on the link to your eBay item, it's not going to be a negative price. It's just impossible. eBay won't even let you sell for $0. So it would be impossible to sell for a negative price. What you're looking at that's a negative is your estimated profit, and you need to go back and put in your compare to item URL if you want that to show something different. Other than that, I could say submit a Sku-Grid support ticket, and maybe they can look into your account and see if there's an issue, but I really think it's because the compare to item URL is not filled in. Let's see. Okay, so Constance was happy with that. That's much easier, huh? Any more questions, anybody?
Going once, going twice.
No questions? All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for coming in and participating. If you have any more questions, just leave them in this comment box, and we can respond to you. We'll get notification that you're leaving a comment, so we can respond to you on a comment, and you should get an email that we responded, or you can just sound off in the Facebook groups.
Uh-oh, someone just...
What's this? Oh, they're just saying thank you. Okay. You're welcome, Constance. All right, guys, you have a good night.
See y'all later.